Hello everyone, my name is Crystal and the channel is Vintage Booth Pro. Okay, so tell me this. Since you have opened your vintage booth, have you become a little bit of a hoarder? Because I am definitely very guilty of that. I have been donated several items, just been given items. People are just like, here, maybe you could put this in your vintage booth. Here, have it. And I have shopped too much. It's really difficult to know how much to shop in advance for your vintage booth. So, what I want to talk to you about today are some lessons that I have learned from having a vintage booth, being a little bit of a hoarder, and what I'm going to do moving forward. And I'm going to discuss my July sales numbers because I have the paperwork. And this July was the last month that I had my second booth. So I have my one big booth that is the rent is $423 a month, and the size, oh, I forget it. It's a 12 by 12, so it's a pretty big space. A couple of months ago, I had the opportunity to open a second booth, and my overall goal was to clean out my guest room. I just have like panic. I fly into panic mode whenever someone says they might drop by or might visit because I have stuff everywhere. And whenever I try to clean it, I push it all into the guest bedroom and don't even, when someone wants to stay overnight, just forget about it. That's like such a cause of a panic. Okay, so here is my problem. I do have a full-time job. I have two kids in school. I just have a lot going on. I have this YouTube channel that I'm really trying to post consistently. I have our Facebook group, which if you're not in our Facebook group, why not? It's a free group, Vintage Booth Pro over on Facebook. I post daily sales updates so you can see what I've sold, and everyone or a lot of people in the group will chime in with what they've sold. And so it's just a great educational group, and it's just fun. So plus with my ADHD, I just have a lot going on. So I thought it was going to be a great idea. I've cleaned out my guest bedroom. What I had been collecting mostly was Christmas and fall because those are my favorite holidays and the holidays that are the biggest in my previous booth or previously in my booth. So I thought, should I get a storage unit or should I open a second booth and see if seasonal stuff will sell? So it was kind of a test in the market to see, if that would really work. And it was an opportunity for me to just clean out. Um, what I found is it's really difficult to have two booths and to keep it up because you want to go in at least once a month or once a week, I'm sorry, and update and refresh. The second booth became my redheaded stepchild, and I'm so sorry if that's offensive. It's just an old saying, but it really did. I did not enjoy it. I didn't like it, and I know many of you have multiple booths, and I hope to get there one point in my life, but right now I just can't handle it. So I made the decision to close the booth, and I was looking at the numbers. And instead of going through what I sold, I want to show you the lessons that I learned from having a second booth and moving forward. What I'm going to do to avoid being a hoarder. So one thing I was thinking about was when I moved into my booth, my store owner told me that it was open because actually a lot of people know that the J months are slow, like June and July and January are slow. Summer is slow because we're on vacation. We're not here. So a lot of booth owners will close their booth and then open it up again in the fall. If there's if there's one open, so that's kind of a risk. So I did a crazy thing and opened a second booth, but I was focused on seasonal items, focused on price, trying to keep it very low and just trying to move a lot of stuff. So I got my numbers, and July was really slow. I was expecting kind of around four or $500 on my check, but I forgot that you prepay in advance for your booth rent. So I had that extra $260, which was the second booth rent. So my check was a little over $730. So that was one of the things I got in my car. I was like, wow, woohoo! So anyways, nice to have a little extra money, but not great as my goal is to have at least $1,000 in my check. And plus with the second booth, it should have been more. But here are the lessons that I've learned. Christmas, fall, Halloween, seasonal items, period, sell year round. So if your store may have rules that you can't display seasonal items year round, but if you can and you have a specialty of knowing the right things that sell, I recommend having a shelf or having a cabinet, a separate area, or your whole booth be seasonal all year long. So my total sales were $1,223. My seasonal items that sold were $164.98. That is 13% of my total sales were seasonal items. Christmas, fall, Halloween, mostly. I didn't have any Easter or Valentine's Day or anything like that. But of those holiday seasonal items, 13% of my sales. And don't forget, that was in July when people are on vacation. It doesn't matter because everyone's always thinking about Christmas and Halloween when you're about to go into that time of the year. Like, I'm already thinking Halloween. I can't wait. Okay, the second thing that I've learned is to display as much as you possibly can in your booth, because a full booth is so much better to shop in than a thinly stocked booth. So rather than keeping the items in your house and saying, I'm going to hold on to this until, stack your booth floor to ceiling. I always say more is more. It's silly to say that, but it's really the truth. I mean, there's a fine line of having too much in your booth to where you can't walk through it, but fill it up and make it easy for people to have lots to pick from. You are just one of either tens or hundreds of other booths. So if you can capture someone's attention and see that you have a lot to offer, that is going to be so much better than just seeing a few things on your shelf. Okay, the third thing that I've learned is that price matters. My last video, I'm going to link it here, is all about pricing. We like to have a strategy, an idea. If we do 3 times or 4 times the purchase price, I think that's great. Even better if you can kind of twist in, let's make this at a price that sells quickly rather than staying in my booth for 6 months to a year. So oddly enough, I sold exactly 100 items, or 100 transactions really. But of those 100 items, 93 of them were under $20. So that's 93% of my items that I sold in July were under $20. So just keep that in mind. It helps move things faster. And the reason that I brought that up was I have an eBay store, which is kind of, I keep separate from everything booth related. But during the summer, I use that time because it's slow to clean out my inventory. And I had some really cool vintage pieces that maybe weren't in the greatest condition, but maybe had been in my store before, some of those as well. And I'll show you those at the end because I'm going to still go through at the end of the video and show you kind of individually what sold. But I reduced the price to lower than what I had on eBay, put it in my booth, and they sold almost immediately, some of them almost the same day. And so just keep that in mind. Under $20, 93% of my items sold. So price matters. The fourth thing that I want to mention is that trends matter. And now I know a lot of you may say, this is an antique store, this is a vintage booth. Our store, actually, when the new owner came in, they changed the name to Antiques and Interiors because the market has changed, and you know this, that people aren't just shopping for vintage and antique items. Honestly, they're getting more and more difficult for us to find as vintage booth owners, but we need to know what is trendy in the market. What are people looking for? What are young people looking for today? Because we're seeing more and more, early 20s. I guess that's millennials. Millennials are shopping in vintage booths. So I think that's really awesome and exciting. I had a pair of brass candlesticks that sold, and the booth owner told me that it's a college student that is headed back to school and decorating her apartment. So I thought that was really awesome. So we talk about trends a lot in our group. In fact, we talk about owls, mushrooms, crazy things like that are coming back around. And so you'll get to see and know that, things are selling for one vintage booth owner, they might sell for you. And, we're going to share as much as we possibly have. And I'll share with you real quickly just some trendy items that I sold this month. You might have seen my video about making this moss mirror. So I got this mirror for free and just hot glued, and it was a huge mess, but it was free. All that it was the cost of all this moss, which is I think about $20 maybe. Anyways, it sold for $65. Almost say the second day I think it was in the booth. So really cool sale. Maybe should have priced a little higher, but who would think that a moss mirror that in my mind all it's going to do is collect dust and it's going to be really hard to clean, but a cool piece for someone nonetheless. This mushroom hanging basket sold for $8, and that was super easy to make. Macrame, blue and white chinoiserie, that's still popular. Yeah, let me know in the comments anything else trendy that you've seen. But I'm telling you, mushrooms are having their day. We are so happy seeing a lot of mushroom related items being sold, and we talk about it a lot in the group. Now, if you are a furniture flipper, meaning a furniture painter, um, know that colors matter. So, we're always wondering what's the latest color? What's going to make this piece sell faster? I highly recommend black or white because those are constant selling. Now, really preferably right now is natural wood color. So if you can keep it as close to natural as possible, you might have to do a lot of sanding and staining to get to that natural color. That's really going to sell the quickest. But then second below that is black or white. So I had these nightstands that I purchased for super cheap, $20 on Facebook Marketplace. Painted them blue when I moved to my new booth because I had blue paint from my last booth that I painted the walls blue. So I was like, let's make it easy. Shout out to my old booth. I'm going to paint these blue. They never sold. So just thinking about the fact that I really would prefer a quick sell than for somebody to have a specific color need in mind. I took them home, had like this ivory color, and these nightstands sold for $175. So I was super happy with that. My last bit of wisdom that I pulled from the numbers that I was looking at for my July sales was to have something unique. So I've talked about this, I think, a few times, but I am really focused on being kind of known as the local gift type person. So I live in Cumming, Georgia. Cumming is a very unique name, and there's a lot of fun that you can have with that. So I made these stickers, and I only did 4 designs. I came up with them in my own head, created them on Canva, and had them printed. Now it was expensive to have them printed, so a little around $1 each to have them printed. So I priced them $3 each or 2 for $5. And so in July, I sold $83 worth of stickers. And it's so funny. I'll tell you the best, most amazing story. I went to the post office in Cumming the other day, and someone was holding the door for me, and she comes in with her water bottle and has one of my stickers on her water bottle. And I was just too shocked to say anything. It's like you keep going back and say, where did you get that? Oh, that's so cool. Should have done that, but oh well. I just kind of gave her a crazy look and went on. So that's usual. That's normal. But what I really did, I took that as a note from the whatever higher source to say, keep focusing on the local stuff. Now I did have T-shirts made because I found a really really good deal. Haven't sold that many of those. Sold 2 of those this month. I sold them for $20 each, so $40 total on that. Not that great, but that's okay. My goal actually is to do some advertising and maybe to get some well-known people around town to start wearing the shirts and to help increase those sales because I would like to move them. So the question is, what can you be known for in your booth? And that's a very wide open question. What is missing from your store? There's probably tons of people that sell paint, but are there people that sell kitchen utensils or decoupage paper, drawer knobs? There's so many possibilities where you can become the person that is, or the booth that is known for that one thing, and that's really going to increase your sales. Okay, so that was my July sales, and those are my things that I learned from the numbers as I looked through them. But now, as we're moving forward, I'm seeing myself start piling stuff in my guest room again. And that one thing is because I actually helped a fellow booth vendor clean out her booth. She was retiring. She just wanted me to keep everything. And so I've kind of, I'm kind of trying to figure out what to do with that, all her stuff. And so I am going to get back to it, but am going to have a clean guest room again, or I may have a second booth. I'm just kidding. I'm not having a second booth again. But here are my tips to not become a hoarder. I'm going to have one shelf that I focus on for Christmas and Halloween. And as I find the few things that I'm going to, I will store them specifically there. And since I'm on eBay, I will probably also list on eBay and store it until until I'm ready to have that on display. You will need to, and I will need to keep on top of pricing. So one of the things that helped increase my sales was to have a 50% off sale for both booths, which I don't like doing. And I really, if I could have a way to just have a big sale in one booth, I would have done that, but there really wasn't any way to. So I did a markdown sale which is where, you just mark down specific items and just say, have signs that say markdowns throughout the booth. So sometimes an item will be in your booth for a long time that is, it's just not going to sell. So don't feel bad about donating it. Just get it out of your sight. That will just help you free up your mind to find new things that will sell. And don't keep it. Don't add it to your pile at home. Take it to the thrift store. Now, this is when you're probably already doing anyways, but network with other booth owners. If you have something that you would like to get rid of or, sell, give away for free or sell very cheaply, let people know about it. We have a Facebook group just for vendors at our store, and people post all the time. Say, I have this furniture. I don't like painting furniture. Does anybody want this for free? I will tell you that the big shelves that I had in my second booth were purchased from another booth owner, and she got them at a great price. And so, help me move some things and help her have some room for storage in her booth. And the most important tip is to just stay organized. It is so difficult, especially, after you go in the booth, you organize your booth, take a few things home, and sometimes those things just sit in a box or a bag for weeks on end until I am ready to look at it again. Immediately take it out, decide if you're going to keep it, upcycle it, or donate it. Like I said, have specific place for storage for future seasons. It's really easy to get overwhelmed with all the stuff. So, if it's overwhelmed, that's the problem. Get rid of stuff. So, trust me, you will find more stuff. There's plenty of stuff out there, as I well know, as you well know. So, keep the prices low, keep it moving. If it's been in your booth too long, either donate or reduce the price. And your home is not your storage unit. Really, you should look at your booth as your storage unit. So keep as much stuff there as you can because it will probably sell eventually. So I hope this helps you not become a hoarder because it is so easy, as I very well know. So let's all stay organized together. If you like this, if I've helped you at all, please hit subscribe and be sure to like and maybe share this video to other vintage booth owners. So I'm not going to close. I'm going to share what sold in July 2023. Over $20. So a lot, like I said, a lot of items, 93% of my items were under $20. So I'm just going to do the $20 and up. And thanks so much for watching. Okay, this German windmill, Christmas windmill, sold for $20. I had it marked $40, but I had a 50% off sale to help reduce items in my second booth. I found it at Goodwill for like $4. So it's still a great profit. This Terry's pumpkin plate sold for $20. I have had that forever. So I think I got it at Goodwill for, maybe $5. I sold 2 local t-shirts for $20 each. This candle holder that holds 6 candles Sold for $22. It was actually black, and I had it in my booth before, and I decided to paint it white. So super happy that one sold. I think I found it for $7 at Goodwill. This wood plant stand sold for $35. Two wall cherubs. So these were super cool. Sold for $20 each. One was kind of cracked, so I had them marked higher, but I decided to mark them down. My moss mirror sold for $65. Oh, this chest of drawers. So it is beautiful. Got it for free. So I had it marked 200 and it sold during my 50% off sale. I meant to mark it firm, but I just forgot because I was just so overwhelmed with having two booths. But somebody had a beautiful chest of drawers for $100. These wicker shelves, I talked about this in a haul video. That was damaged and somebody still wanted them. This was a Facebook Marketplace sale, so they bought it for $125. This okay, this is the sale that I mentioned that another vendor bought two shelves and this black wicker shelf for $125. So they got a really great deal and my two nightstands for $175. So if you like what sold videos, I try to do them on a regular basis, but I will tell you honestly, I post daily on Facebook and that's the best way to learn. So jump over there and be sure to join our group. But if you like haul videos of what sold, I will post a few options here for you to continue watching. And thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Thanks. Bye-bye.